Happy spoopy season Halloween, everybody.
Happy Halloween. Welcome to Halloweentown.
Yeah, have you ever watched a Halloween movie and it kind of barely feels like Halloween? That's this movie.
Out of the Halloweentown movies, they kind of progressively get less Halloweeny.
For real, and it's been a bit since I've seen the fourth one. So I'm curious in a year when we watch the last Halloweentown.
From my memory, that one feels the least Halloweeny, but maybe I'm wrong.
This one feels very not Halloweeny, which is wild for a movie called Halloweentown.
It's just more like, hey, look at these little creatures, these little gremlins, these little guys.
These little guys going to high school.
That are sometimes big. What if they were in... That would be wacky.
If they were in high school, that'd be crazy.
Wow.
And then they're like, don't worry. No, now it's Halloween. It's midnight of Halloween. And it's like, is it though? It barely feels like it.
And only one of them really dressed up in a costume and it was just a little cowboy guy. Like, what the heck?
That was funny. Marnie's a witch, as she always fucking is. She has one costume.
Yeah, she saves money.
And she's like, this is when I can be my true self. A witch.
Also, are we going to ever address the elephant in the room that all of these movies, including this one, but all like the Halloween type movies that are anywhat similar to this, always are like, people at Halloween, it's the one time a year that people dress up as goblins and ghouls and stuff, when people these days and people back when these movies were new were already moving to like pop culture costumes. Mostly.
Talking about furries?
No. Boy, you want to talk about furries? We can make this a furry podcast. I'm willing. So Pete the werewolf, guys.
Welcome, everybody, to the DCOM Duo podcast.
I'm Benji.
I'm Kelsey.
And it is not past 10 o'clock, so we are the DCOM Duo.
Heck yeah. Yeah, don't worry. We're recording this at 8:30.
Yeah, a much more reasonable time.
We'll probably get to 10 o'clock,
yeah.
though. And
everyone knows from last time when we talked about horse sets. Yeah, once you get past 10 o'clock with us, you get a little crazy.
We get real silly.
The stuff goes down. But we'll see if we even get that far. It'll be a good check in our processing of how fast we can whip these episodes out. Especially on a movie like Halloweentown High. That's what we're talking about today.
Halloweentown High. It's the third Halloweentown movie. Our tradition now is to watch Halloweentown for our Halloween episode.
Even though we don't really care that much for the Halloweentown films.
We personally don't like them. We personally don't like them. But it just so happened that the second episode released on Halloween and we randomly rolled Halloweentown in our wheel of randomness.
That. We did not.
We did not. Nobody's ever told us that.
No one's ever done that. No one ever sends us fan mail except like occasionally, but not in a bit.
Yeah.
If you want to send us fan mail, you can email us at thedcomduo@gmail.com.
Mm-hmm.
Or contact us on any of the other ways.
Tell us about how much you love Halloweentown.
And Halloweentown High is your favorite one. Because there's no Halloweentown.
This one's really bad. I also remember not liking the fourth one at all. And so I don't know which one I dislike more. I can tell you the first two are better than the last two. And I don't even like the first two.
I would have to think about it a bit. To me, they're all kind of samey. This one's distinct and it's got some stuff I like better than the others and other things I dislike more than the others.
One thing I can give props for, it is very whimsical. Particularly the first two do feel like Halloween and kind of get you that vibe if you're looking for a more wholesome Halloween movie. Like, it's not a terrible option. I think there's better options. This one, Halloweentown High, is literally just, let's put some of these guys in normal high school. And there's really not that much of a plot, even though there is, they're like, oh, the knights.
This one feels like a cash grab. The fourth one feels like a cash grab. The second one doesn't.
The second one actually feels like a genuine sequel.
But they had an idea for.
Yeah. This one is just like, what are we still doing here, guys?
You remember at the end of Halloweentown 2 when they were like, oh, Calabar will be back, or Cal will be back. That's
did
for
they
sure.
say that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they did say that. He literally doesn't come back.
No.
They just introduce a completely new villain. They're like, oh yeah, these Knights guys have been around forever. We've never heard of them.
Yeah. But we'll talk about that shortly.
Okay. Yeah, we can get into the factos.
Yeah.
DCOM duo factos.
This film released October 8th, 2004. Shocking, I know. An
Hop
October
Halloween.
Release. What?
2004. I was 5 years old.
That, to me, mentally, that both makes sense, but also is later than I expected.
It's crazy. By the time I could comprehend the Halloweentown movies, 3 of them had already released. And then I remember when Return to Halloweentown premiered, actually.
This was the 53rd DCOM.
Wow. That's like right in the middle. That's crazy. It was 2004.
Yeah.
That like about half of them
because that was the end of the peak era. Then they really slowed down.
Yeah, that's crazy.
They were pumping these things out.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why we talk about a lot of these from 01, 02, 2000, 99.
It's like about half of them came out around that time. It's crazy. A little under half, but yeah.
The director of this film is Mark A.Z. Dippe.
A.Z. Dippe.
I may be mispronouncing all of that. Fun name. He directed one other DCOM. Pixel Perfect.
Hell yeah.
You know what? If you're listening to Halloweentown High, we're just going to spoil it. That's my favorite DCOM. That's at least in Kelsey's top 3.
Oh, it's fantastic. It's a fantastic movie, and we haven't talked about it yet. We will. Look forward to that episode.
Look forward to that one. We have a lot to say.
There's so much to say
about how much we love that film. Is it a good movie?
No.
I go back and forth. How much of our enjoyment is intentional? I think like 0% of it is them trying to make a good movie of why I like it. I think it's just so batshit crazy. It lucks into like the most perfect combination of elements for us.
Yeah, it's absolutely insane and I love it.
Yeah. So we'll talk about that more with Pixel Perfect. That's his only other DCOM directed. Mark A.Z. Dippe was an influential visual artist. That's actually probably his primary job over directing is visual artist. He was influential in cinema. He helped design the T-1000 in Terminator 2. That's like the evil robots. And the dinosaurs of Jurassic Park were built using technology he worked on.
That's cool.
So pretty cool there. As for being a director, he directed multiple Garfield straight-to-DVD films.
Fuck yeah. Like animated, not like the live action?
The animated ones.
Gotcha.
Also, do you remember the recent Marmaduke film that came out a couple years ago?
With Owen Wilson? Starring
Pete Davidson as Marmaduke. It was a Netflix animated film that everyone hated because he directed it.
It wasn't the 2010s Owen Wilson
this is
Marmaduke?
22.
Damn, no, I don't remember that.
Yeah.
He did that?
Yeah, he did that.
Damn.
So still going out there and making that.
Pete Davidson.
What a man. There's, what a man. Again, he lucked into everything turning perfectly imperfect, which is how you describe Pixel Perfect. Honestly, it would be a better name than Pixel Perfect. Tell me I'm wrong.
Perfectly imperfect, but I wouldn't change a thing. No. When are we going to talk about Camp Rock 2?
Whenever we roll it. You can rig the wheel if you want.
I would never do that. I would do that.
All right. For the cast, there's a lot of people, and a lot of them we've already talked about, so I'm going to more or less speed run this.
Hell yeah, just speed through. We talked about two of these movies already.
Yeah, so I will slow down for the 2 people that we haven't talked about and are only in this movie. Okay. But other than that, I'm going to go quick. Playing the role of Marnie is Kimberly J. Brown. Mm-hmm. She's also Marnie in Halloweentown 1 and 2. She's also in Quince.
Yep.
So 4 DCOMs because she's not in the 4th. She infamously is recast. We'll talk about that more then.
I can't wait to talk about that next year. Yeah. Can't wait. Honestly.
Otherwise, nothing new since last year. She really doesn't do that much.
She is married to her villain love interest from the second movie.
Yep.
We talked about it last year.
Playing the role of Aggie Cromwell is Debbie Reynolds, who is just an absolute legend of cinema and just acting in general. Most notably singing in the Rain, but there's a bunch of other things that she's well known for.
And she has sadly passed away.
Yeah. She was also the mother of Carrie Fisher.
Yes.
Yeah. Playing the role of Dylan is Joey Zimmerman, who has basically done nothing else other than Halloweentown movies, which makes sense to me because he's not a good actor.
Is he in the fourth one?
Yeah, I believe so.
Wow. They just recast Marnie. What the hell?
I think if Kimberly J. Brown wanted to be done with it.
I don't know. We'll look into it next year.
Yeah. But yeah, my take in this movie is he is not really a good actor. And I said that in the first
that every single movie. Yeah.
I get why he's done nothing else and you can't really recast him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Playing the role of Sophie, who is barely in this movie, but I figured I'd mention, is Emily Roski, who's also done basically nothing other than the Halloweentown movies. And this was actually her final acting role. She's done nothing since. She's just like retired. I think she wanted to be done with acting and they convinced her to be like a cameo role in this because she's barely in this. She's
barely in it.
Yeah. And it doesn't really make sense lore-wise because going to this movie, she was considered the strongest of the family.
She was very important in the first, at least in the first movie. I felt like in the second one, she was decently important too.
Yeah.
And this one, she's just not even there.
Yeah. Playing the role of Gwen, who is pretty important in this one, is Judith Hoag. She got cast. This is a fun fact that I found out when doing my research. She got cast in Halloweentown because when she went to the audition or talking to Disney's head of TV, the head of TV's son was a diehard Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle fan. And back in the 90s, in 1990, Judith Hoag played April O'Neil. So it was like, my son loves you because you were in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. You can be the mom in Halloweentown.
That's crazy.
Connections. She has a fair bit of credits elsewhere. The biggest thing that I think is the TV show Nashville. She had a pretty big role in. She's got a lot of credits. She's not really a nobody.
Yeah.
Slowing down a little bit. Now for the two main new people. Playing the role of Cody, the love interest of this film.
Yeah.
Is Finn Wittrock. This really was his breakthrough.
He did pretty good.
This was his first thing. I think he's the best actor in this film.
Yeah, I thought he did pretty good.
Probably full stop. There's other people in this I think do fine. I mean, Debbie Reynolds is better historically and stuff like that, but she can phone it in for Halloweentown.
Yeah, she's fun in these movies. Yeah.
I have no problems with her. He was in the soap opera All My Children for several years. And then recently he's actually had a bunch of big roles in the American Horror Story shows.
Oh.
So he's actually kind of a big deal, which surprised me. I felt like I recognized his face and I was like, wow, okay, this is tough. He has small but notable roles in both The Big Short and La La Land.
Who's he in La La Land?
He's Mia's ex-boyfriend.
Oh yeah. That's crazy.
And The Big Short, he's arguably the sixth biggest character, which that's an ensemble film, so that's kind of a big deal for a big film like that. Also, a lot of major stage credits. He's kind of a big deal.
Cool. Good for you, my guy.
It's fun. This is where it's fun to do this research because I'm I didn't know.
Yeah.
Playing the role of Principal Flanagan was Clifton Davis. I thought it was interesting. His first notable thing he ever did was writing the number 2 Billboard top hit, Never Can Say Goodbye, the Jackson 5 song. So, cool for him. He has a lot of Broadway credits, doing roles in Hello Dolly, Aladdin, Wicked, Two Gentlemen of Verona, bunch awards and stuff.
Wicked is so topical. Because that movie's going to come out. Was he the wizard?
He was the goat.
Oh, he was the goat. Okay, that's fun.
Yeah. He's had notable TV roles in That's My Mama, Madam Secretary, Amen, among other stuff. Basically just writing a bunch of stuff that he's done. He started in the 1960s and he's still acting today.
Hell yeah,
he's
my
just
guy.
A workhorse. Also, at the same time, he's an active minister.
Wow.
So
this dude's pretty cool.
He's kind of killing it. All right. Playing the role of Ethan, the Warlock, is Lucas Grabeel.
Hell yeah,
We've already talked about him in High School Musical,
Damn right.
where he is more of a big deal, I would say, than his role.
Oh, yeah. He is Ryan Evans.
He's also in Halloweentown 4, as well as the other High School Musical stuff.
Definitely bigger role in Halloweentown 4. I was surprised watching this back how kind of unimportant he is in this movie.
He's really treated as just one of the others.
Yeah, and he's the twist of he's the bad guy's son. Whatever, which I mean they knew all along that he was his son, but whatever. he's like Marnie's love interest in the fourth one, I'm pretty sure. So that's what I was surprised about, is like he had nothing even hinting to that in this movie.
Not at all, because their whole love interest was someone else, because Marnie gets a new love interest every
single movie. Every single movie. Which, I mean, the second one, you do count Cal as her love interest, I guess, even though he's evil and was playing her the whole time. Yeah. Luke was back, but they didn't do anything romantic in the second one at all.
And they had all the opportunity to.
They did. Yeah. There was too much going on.
Yeah. Otherwise, he has like notable TV roles in Switch's Birth, Sheriff Callie's Wild West, Pinky Maliki, Family Guy, just a ragtag stuff. He's made his career.
Yeah. If y'all know Disney Channel, you should know Lucas Gabriel for sure.
It's not too much less crazy. Mm-hmm. Playing Natalie, the pink troll, is Alyssa Ruin, who we've already talked about for High School Musical. She plays Kelsey.
Hell yeah, my girl.
She's also in the Poof Point.
Yeah, she was one of the like random friends in the Poof Point.
And she has an extremely minor Hounded role.
She was helping making the posters and being annoyed at the two little dumb kids.
Which we think that's pretty wild, because that's a lot of different DCOMs.
She was like around Disney Channel.
And she's really done nothing much otherwise.
Before it like really took off, she had these minor roles in these DCOMs, and then this was before High School Musical, so her and Lucas Gabriel were in Halloweentown High before High School Musical came out. Mm-hmm. That's crazy.
Did you know PlayStation had a like streaming service that they made TV shows for?
No.
Because she was like a main role on the first show that they ever tried to make, called Powers. I know nothing about it, and I'm more mentioning this because I thought it was wild that PlayStation had a streaming service. Like, what are we come to?
That's wild.
Yeah. All right. Now to go extra quick for the rest of the people, because I felt weird not including them.
Yeah.
Playing Cassie the Witch is Eliana Reyes. The only other roles she has, period, are additional voices in Happy Feet and a small role in The Journey of Alan Strange.
Happy Feet, fuck yeah.
Additional voices is my favorite character. Playing Edgar Dalloway is Michael Flynn. Mm-hmm. Notably, that's not the former National Security Advisor to the United States that was a big deal in 2016.
Okay.
Not different person. When I was Googling, I'm like, oh yeah, that person was quite important to the US for a brief moment. Different guy. He's done nothing really that's relevant, but he's had a long and solid career. Playing the role of Pete the Werewolf is Todd Michael Schwartzman, who has one other credit to his name, being a basketball dancer in High School Musical.
Hell yeah!
They really casted from this movie for High School Musical.
3 people that we know of, and 2 actually were roles. This guy, Pete the Werewolf, they're like, you want to come be one of our basketball guys? You want to dance to get your head in the game, my man?
Yeah.
Let's go.
And then finally playing the role of Chester is actually 2 different people.
Who is Chester?
He's the blue troll.
The blue goblin guy?
Yeah.
Was he a different guy when he was blue?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. I felt like that didn't
Maybe they
sense.
wanted a taller guy because he got taller when he took off his fleshy disguise.
Yeah, so it was Clayton Taylor when he was little and Jesse Howard when big. Neither of them have acting histories that are anything important. But Clayton Taylor, who was the one when he's human, was a very minor character in Read It and Weep.
Hell yeah. Can't wait to shout you out in that episode, my man.
We're going to forget about it.
Yeah, we will.
He's guy number 4.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I can't wait to watch that movie and be like, that's Chester. I found him. Spot Chester.
Can you find Chester? Fun fact.
Yay, fun facts.
This film was intentionally designed to be more family-friendly after Halloweentown 2 was criticized for being too dark in tone.
Okay, I was about to be like, what the hell do you mean? But no, it is kind of noticeable that Halloweentown 2 is a little more serious. Yeah. But even then,
it's really not.
It's really not. Remember when I told you about the first Halloweentown movie and how dark it was supposed to be? They really toned it down from then.
I feel like in this day and age, they would have dialed up the spook.
Yeah. I feel like there was way spookier DCOMs out there.
Don't Look Under the Bed was there.
Oh my gosh.
That's
That's the
spookier.
scariest one. I was thinking like, I mean, Scream Team is kind of, granted I've only watched it once, but Scream Team's kind of like, ooh.
The high school that was used as a set was Juan Diego High School in Utah, which is the same one used in Luck of the Irish.
So fun. Can't wait to talk about Luck of the Irish. Haven't talked about it. It's crazy. Like this is our 54th episode, I think. It's in the 50s. And there's still so many DCOMs. There's so many. Over 50 left. Like,
see, this is
so
how
when
we get some of these boring ones out that we don't care about.
Because we still get to talk about Luck of the Irish, baby.
Yeah, there's a lot to talk about with that.
Yeah, look at me like trying to avoid talking about Halloweentown High.
And finally, apparently Kimberly J. Brown provided some input into the script to assist with the continuity. I think she did do a great job.
That is so funny. We shit on this franchise so much for how horrible they are at continuity. And Kimberly was in there trying to be like, guys.
No, I do imagine that's more what it is. It was even worse to begin with. And she was like, Marnie would never do that.
Or she's like, guys, remember how she opened up the portal? She probably had to remind them how at the end of the second one, because this was like her whole career was the Halloweentown movies and Quince. Like, gosh, I feel for you, Kimberly. I'm sure you tried your best because she's like, these movies don't make sense. The lore doesn't make sense.
I just want it to make sense.
You ready for the Disney Plus subscription?
Oh, you can give me that DPD.
So Halloweentown Disney Plus subscriptions are infamous in our podcast for how wrong they are just all the time. Specifically, the first one, they said it was Marty's birthday. It definitely was not her birthday. What the fuck?
The second one, it was like they only have a day to save it and they spend more than a day.
And it was also that like Sophie went with them when she never did.
Yeah.
She never went with them in Halloweentown until the end when she was helping unspell everything. So let's see how Halloweentown High fares in its Disney Plus subscription. Back to school's never been so cool. ... Or supernatural for Marnie Kimberly J. Brown, her grandmother Aggie Debbie Reynolds, and her family of witches. When Marnie convinces the Halloweentown Council to send several teenagers to her high school in the mortal world, she even promises to give up her magic if any harm comes to them. But soon, Marnie and her new friends are in trouble and out of luck when the evil Knight of the Iron Dagger appears. He's determined to destroy all things magical, and it's up to Marnie to save her high school, the human world, and her magic. So I don't think anything's factually wrong in this description.
And it's annoying. There's nothing wrong about this.
I hate how it's formatted in some of these sentences. Like, what's with the ellipses? High school, back to school's never been so cool. Or supernatural for Marnie. Like, the way it flows is bad. And I hate how they say Marnie and her new friends are in trouble and out of luck when evil Knight of the Iron Dagger appears. Like,
why do you need all these extra
words? What do you mean out of luck? Yeah, I think they were trying to fill in their word count. We're out of luck, guys. The evil Knight of the Iron Dagger is here.
And I get why they don't mention the true villain.
No, that's totally fine. And for most of the movie, they're like, oh yeah, it's the Knight of the Evil Dagger. And they act like it's one guy, even though it's supposed to be like a cult of guys, right?
Yeah, but it did end up being one guy. This
movie's weird. And like, I'm just going to talk about it now. Maybe I should wait. I just want to talk about how fucking random the Knight of the Iron Dagger is and how it's not mentioned ever in the other two movies. And how they're just like, we're going to make up that there were these night guys that were against Halloweentown.
You think Kimberly J. Brown was like, guys, remember in the first two films when we talked about the Knight of the Iron Dagger? We got to bring that back. And the writers were like, this is good. This is good.
She's just seeing what she can get away with. Pretending like it was real. Anyway, let's jump into the movie.
Let's Papa's best sauce into the movie.
Why would you do this?
Do you want me to say a different one?
You're fooling everyone. That's not a real DCOM.
That is a real DCOM. We'll talk about it April 1st.
All right. So we opened up Lightning. Halloweentown High. Okay, there's like a spooky little rhyme. It's like a guy be like, for 1,000 years, Halloweentown people reside, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's like a spooky tale. They're driven Oh, I wrote like they're driven away by the Iron Knights. Like, since when is this lore? But the era is over. The worlds reunite. The portal is open, but not without a fight.
A fright. Yeah, this is also the only time this like 10-second rhyme that we see Halloweentown in the entire movie.
That is so true.
Did they just not have the set available at all?
No other Halloweentown movie has started with a spooky little rhyme, either giving us exposition. They're like, fuck, we need to try to explain who these knights are because it's literally never mentioned before.
Kimberly J. Brown's like, y'all, you didn't explain where the knights are from.
Where are the knights from?
Like, oh, we got to do a rhyme. We got to do a rhyme.
Who are these random knights?
Do you know any word that rhymes with night? Fight.
Fight.
Good.
Reunite.
Oh,
damn,
okay.
They cooked. It's because
Kimberly J. Let's go.
Just in case y'all forget, what they should have done was, hi, that's me. I'm Marnie, and a year ago, I opened the portal to worlds. That's what they did for Halloweentown too.
It would have worked better.
It would have worked better because then it would have stayed consistent too with the format that they did for the second one. But instead,
they were like, we can write a rhyme. Instead,
they literally just jump like hard cut into like, here's Aggie and Marnie talking with Gwen. Like you're right in the action. Like you barely get anything to kind of ease you into the movie. Aggie's asking Marnie, like, what are you going to say to the council? So apparently she's going to go to council.
Because apparently they're still kind of pissed that she opened the portal.
And who the fuck is the council? We've never heard about a council before. There was a mayor and it was Calabar.
And I guess they probably have to replace him in some way.
So maybe this is a new thing.
Yeah.
Maybe.
If you are any expert lore and analyst, please reach out to us. We want to know more about Halloweentown lore. Also, if you're Kimberly J. Brown, please reach out to us because you wrote this movie. I found my joke for the episode. I'm gonna run this into the ground.
That it was actually just Kimberly J. Brown this entire movie writing it.
If I like or dislike anything in the writing, it's Kimberly J. Brown's fault.
Because she had input about continuity, guys. So Marty's heated. Marty's like, all I should have to say to the council is you're welcome because I only opened the portal to save the entire world. So thank me very much. So they're like, yeah, Marnie's being summoned. And she's like, and you know why they don't like my idea of letting the Halloweentown High kids go to school here? Fear and ignorance.
They have to establish like, oh, she's been talking about this plan.
Apparently.
Sidebar. This is like early October, presumably.
Yeah.
Or like September.
It's like mid-October to early October.
Start of school year-ish time. So it's been like
you're right. It probably is the start of the school year. So it's probably September.
It's been like a year since the portal's been opened.
Yeah, because that opened on Halloween.
This should have been talked about before.
It probably has been. What do you mean, like letting the kids go to school here? I think she's been pitching it.
Well, I'm saying no, her facing the council.
Oh. Yeah, that's a good point. I think the council just formed.
Yeah, that maybe they've just had a backlog of things to deal with. They just dealt with Cal, and that's why we don't see them.
Yeah. So then Marnie gets sucked into a portal. It just appears because magic. And now she's in front of the council. And the council's like, hey, first off, we want to thank you for saving Halloweentown. And she's like, oh, well.
I'm pretty cool.
You're welcome.
Is there going to be a parade?
Do I get a parade for me? And they're like, okay, now about your proposal to send these kids to mortal school. Yeah, why not? And the other guy in the council's like, no. It's dangerous. And Marnie's like, no, it's okay. I'm going to protect them. My family's going to protect them. And then one guy goes, what about the knights?
Won't anyone mention the knights?
The knights that have been here the whole time? The knights that wanted to kill us? So apparently, this is what the lore we learned in the first Halloweentown movie was that like Halloween creatures and human beings used to live together. And then the humans started being assholes.
And but we didn't know that the humans were knights until Kimberly J. Brown reminded us.
And then the Halloween creatures were like, well, we're going to fuck off and make our own Halloweentown world. Apparently, there were knights the whole time being like, fuck these creatures. Also, what qualified as a Halloweentown creature and a human? Is it literally just like... There's only one kind of human, and then there's a million different Halloween
Wait, it's all
creatures.
racism.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, what about the Knights? The Knights of the Iron Dagger. They hate magical things.
Everyone in Halloweentown has always talked about the Knights.
We've always known about this. This is known.
Everyone knows about this.
Y'all acting like you don't care about the Knights. This has been a problem the whole time. Okay?
It's so stupid.
And Marty's like, y'all need to get out more. The world's different now. People are tolerant now. Sure, Marty. This is 2004. People are real tolerant in 2004.
Hey, every generation thinks they're the most tolerant. And most are actually right until another one comes up.
Yeah, well, sure.
Okay. I guess this is post 9/11, so we took a step back.
We did take a step backwards. I can just tell you now, 2004 was less tolerant than recent days. I'm not even saying we're super tolerant now.
No.
I don't think we are.
But 2004 was probably more tolerant than 1830 or whatever the Knights were scaring off Halloween. We're cooking.
Marty is
it's
like...
past 9 o'clock.
Y'all, past 9 o'clock. We're getting goofy. Marty's like, I bet all of the Cromwell magic that it's better now. And
she says this like a figure of speech, and it becomes the whole linchpin of the whole movie. Because everyone's like, no take backs.
No take backs. These fucking got you. If you bet the whole Cromwell magic, then you got a deal. Like, you have until midnight on Halloween. Bye, bitch. And she's like, huh? And then they suck her away in the portal. So her little offhand comment was like, I bet my whole magic that people are better now. Like, Marnie. Yeah, you can't just be tossing language like that around when you're like the most powerful witch family ever.
Well, it's all known from the lore that if you say, I bet blank to the Council of Halloweentown, they will take you up on it.
Guys, this has been clearly established from the first two movies.
Did you not watch movies 1 and 2?
Honestly, you could just watch this movie and not watch the other ones, and you wouldn't be missing a goddamn thing. They don't even go to Halloweentown!
If you watched the first, or if you just watched this movie and got asked to describe the first or second movie, I am really curious what people would come up with, because that's got to be wild.
You would really have to pay attention in the first couple sentences when she's like, yeah, I opened the portal to save the world. Like, they never mention Calabar or anything.
Nope.
Like, and it's only mentioned like these 2 times of like, hey, thanks for opening the portal and saving the world. You have no idea why that happened.
And again, you'd assume the Knights are a much bigger deal.
Yeah, you would have been like, yeah, the Knights that everybody knows about. Like, if you watched the 3rd movie and then went back and watched the first 2, you'd be like, where the fuck are the Knights?
I was promised Knights. They took a wrong turn. They went to Avalon High.
Also, if you're watching the 3rd movie without seeing the other ones, you'd be like, what was Halloweentown? This was Halloweentown High? I thought this was a normal school.
It's not like this is called Halloweentown 3, Halloweentown High. This is just called Halloweentown High.
Isn't it sad how Luke didn't get to come to the mortal world for school?
Maybe he didn't want to. He's scared of Knights.
He said, I don't want to look normal human anymore. I spent both movies embracing my ugly goblin face. Troll face. He's a troll.
Yeah.
Anyway, back at home, Aggie's like, you better fucking magic? What the fuck? And Marty's like, sorry, I thought it was a figure of speech. And Aggie also blames Gwen for Marty not being properly trained. This was a thing in the first 2 movies. I thought we were past it now.
But no, it feels like Marty goes down in magic level.
Yeah, she really does, because they talk about how she's like level 1 in this movie, like still Marnie. Especially she said like, oh, senior project at one point in high school. Like, is she a senior?
Apparently.
And she's barely a fucking witch. It's been like 4 or 5 years since the first movie when she started learning magic, and apparently she just still fucking sucks at it.
Yeah, maybe.
Is Sophie good? We don't know.
Well, Sophie was good.
She was good.
She has like 3 lines in this movie, so we don't get to know.
Marty's like, calm down. Let's just cancel the program. And then Dylan makes a snarky comment about sharing his room with a werewolf. And then Aggie...
Dylan is the same.
He's exactly
you love him
the
or
same.
you hate him. And guess what? Everyone actually hates him.
Yeah. Aggie's like, no, this is important. The real world is like really cool. And besides, the knights aren't even real. Also, the boogeyman has a thing for Gwen. I don't know. And they say there's no such thing as knights. Cue a knight just standing outside their house with a sword.
Dang. That's crazy. The person that we eventually learned to be the knight.
Why was he just standing outside their house?
I feel like there's so many times he could have gotten spot.
He's already
bad.
He's
bad
already in.
job.
Okay, can we put a pin in this
Put a pin in this.
For when we reveal who the knight is, like, I really want to go back to him standing outside the house. Okay. New day.
Maybe scroll down and write, like, he was standing in front of the house. He was standing
in front of the house. I'm just going to try to remember my pin that I plucked into the wall there. All right, new day. They have some grasshopper flakes in stock at the house for the gremlin coming over.
Oh, and they're alive.
So kooky. And they're getting ready to leave for school, and Marnie's working on a spell to make the living arrangement bigger, even though it's like a level 2 spell. This is where she's like, she's only level 1. Whatever. Instead, she like shrinks the house for a second, and there are people walking by, and they see that house like wobble.
Yeah, and everyone's like, that's kind of weird.
Whoa! And then Marnie's like, oops. And then Gwen comes in, the mom, and she does a magic door to make more rooms. And so, yay.
Yay, the mom can do magic. The mom...
She does magic all the time.
Yeah, this is not continuous. There is a line later on where she's like, why do I dislike magic?
Yeah, so
that's a Kimberly J. Brown edition. Tell me I'm wrong.
In the first 2 movies, she like didn't use magic that much. She went so many years without using magic because she decided to come into the human world and just live here.
Put in an effort for her to get things.
And then in the first movie, it was like when she got to Halloweentown and she was fighting Caliber, she used magic. And in the second movie, it was kind of the same thing. Like, she used magic when she needed to like defend herself. Kind of. Yeah. And now she's just using it willy-nilly all the fucking time. So then Aggie calls on the witching glass, which, by the way, witching glass, if you've watched the first 2 movies, clearly you know what witching glass is. It's super vital to Halloweentown lore and has been mentioned multiple times.
And it doesn't completely remove the reason they used a headphone in the previous movie, because it's just clearly better than a headphone.
Clearly, we've always used witching glass, guys. This shouldn't be confusing. If you watched this before the other 2, you'd be like, where's the witching glass? What about the headphone?
Yeah. Why not use a witching glass? It's just way better than a headphone.
Everybody knows what witching glass is. It's used for so many different things. Witching glass is confusing.
This is going to be a long podcast. I'm not prepared for us to just take all this.
Every single thing we talk about, how like it's brand new to this movie and has never been mentioned before. Man, fuck Halloweentown. Sorry. Cut that.
Leave it in.
So then Aggie's getting everyone loaded up in the car, and she's like, I'll meet you at school. And then Marnie and Gwen are like, oh, she's probably gonna
take a flying
school bus.
Which is actually a callback. Whoa.
Kimberly J. Brown was like, remember the school bus?
How long can we do this gimmick before it gets just unbearable? Where anything in the plot happens, and if it's a callback, we're just like Kimberly J. Brown. And if it's just something new, we're like, remember that?
Yeah, if it's something that happened before, Kimberly J. Brown is the reason it's in this movie. And if it's never happened before, clearly this was here the whole time.
You either die a Kimberly J. Brown edit or live long enough to be something brand new to the universe.
All right, so they're like, oh, we should go to make sure she doesn't come in a flying school bus. So then at school, they're waiting outside and they're looking in the sky for a flying school bus. But instead, Aggie shows up in a cute little orange car. And she's even dressed normally. They're like, oh my God, you're not wearing your ugly fucking witch clothes like you usually do.
Yeah, they threatened to steal her magic. She's going to take this seriously.
For real. And then Aggie helps Cassie out of the car. We meet Cassie. And she has a guidebook on humans. I think Cassie's a witch. I think they established
she is
that.
A witch, yes.
Yeah. And then other kids come out too, and it's like a clown car where way too many are in there. It's magic. And then Ethan comes out last. That's Lucas Gabriel. And the way he comes out last makes you think like, oh, he's going to be so important. He's going to be the love interest or something.
Yep.
Nope.
He's a little important.
He's a little important, but like, yeah. Aggie introduces Marnie as her student advisor. And if anyone asks where they're from, they should say Canada.
Yeah. Cool. Woo, Canada.
And then Marnie's like, just try to blend in. All right, cool, let's go. And then Aggie leaves to see a man about a job. And then her bag grows legs and a tail. Remember her bag?
Yeah.
Now, instead of just a cute little bag that kind of scoots around, it has legs and a tail. It's like CGI now.
Which is fine.
They really said, let's add CGI.
I mean, the director was just like a CGI guy. So.
That's true. Oh, that's a really good point of why there's so many more like CGI computer edited effects compared to the first two movies, which had like zero, except maybe the school bus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They started leaning on that, which in 2004, low budget films, this is the type of CGI I'm cool with. It's way more like the current day CGI stuff where there's no real sets and they try to replace everything with CGI. It's fine. This one, you still have to do a lot of practical effects to make the CGI work. No. It's kind of fun. I'm never mad at the CGI in this movie.
It's fine.
No, I'm not saying it's great or anything. I'm saying...
Yeah, it doesn't feel too out of place.
No.
So then Aggie goes in to see the principal. And the principal's like, it's so crazy that like nearly a dozen foreign exchange students like are enrolled now, but you did it. And Aggie is also trying to hide her like little monster demon bag. And she's like, oh yes, I'm so excited for them to soak up the culture here. And the principal's like, aren't you guys from Canada?
Aggie looks down at her hand, sees a word that says Canada, looks back up. Yep.
Yes, we are.
That's my favorite scene in the whole movie. It's just a little fun gag.
That was really funny. She had to write on a little note card Canada so that she could remember where to say that they were from.
And she's lived in the human world before, so.
Yeah, probably not a lot, though. Like, the past few years, yes, if you've watched the first two Halloweentown movies. So she's like, oh, I should get to class. Don't want to keep my students waiting. And then all of a sudden, the principal, he has a pet bird in his office. All of a sudden, the pet bird is gone because the bag ate it. And he's
through
like...
a cage. Pretty impressive.
He's like, Peepers? Where's Peepers?
Poor Peepers.
Poor Peepers.
Rest in peace, Peepers.
Rest in Peepers.
Lay one out.
She's like, okay, so earlier she was like, I have to go see a man about a job. Apparently she was already hired.
Yeah. I don't know. They just had to start their flirtmance.
Yeah. They really just had to get Aggie in this movie more. They're like, we need to get Debbie Reynolds in an actual role.
Yeah,
Let's make her a teacher.
Her arc is better than the other arcs.
What other arcs of this movie?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So then Marnie is with the students in the hall, and Dylan's like, I'm going to AP Calculus. And Natalie, who, remember, this is Kelsey from my school, she's like, me too. All of my classes are AP. Apparently she like tested into these classes. Mm-hmm. Or they just knew she was smart or something. I don't know. Cassie's like, what a freaking nerd.
Marnie's like, Dylan's
a nerd. And she's like, no, Natalie's a nerd.
Also, Cassie would be a nerd. Miss Cass to say that she wouldn't be. What the hell?
Cassie's just obsessed with like human culture. She's a nerd in that way. So then Marnie tells Dylan to show where those dazzling intellects congregate.
People, the sad thing about this is people like Dylan.
Cut right there. You'd stop.
They had to make 4 movies of these fucking lines.
Yeah.
Because they are just like, oh, Halloweentown, we have to do Dylan accurate. He's the only one they keep accurate. He
does say accurate the whole time. And then Marnie's like, Rebecca, you follow me. And then she looks over and there's one kid whose back is kind of to her. And she's like, hey, you, lose the tail. And she pulls on it, but it was not a tail. It was like a shirt. Or it looked like a scarf. I don't know. So he was not a Halloweentown monster. She was wrong. He's like, whoa, what? I'm Cody. And Cody's like, hey, can I join your little tour group?
I'm also new.
And Marnie's like, no, it's not a tour group. It's like my senior project. It's some foreign exchange students. And he's like, okay, cool. Guess I'll see you around. And Marnie, this is accurate to Marnie, where she immediately is like, oh my God, like a boy talk to me. Like you can tell she's so flirty instantly. She did this in Halloweentown too. Yeah. With Cal. Like any boy.
She's boy crazy.
Any boy talks to her and she's like, oh my God.
A boy.
A boy.
Oh boy.
Cut to Aggie teaching like science, I guess. And there's this man child. He's definitely not a high schooler. He looks so old.
We don't rag on it as much as we honestly could. But this movie, like, DCOMs have a bad, these are adults playing kids roles. But that's fine, because in the end of the day...
It's gotten better in recent years.
Yeah. There's bad stuff to having kids do those roles, too. But... this one's bad. It does not look like a kid. No,
he looks like a 28-year-old man.
It'd be funny if he was a kid.
Yeah. He's like, a jock and he's being snarky. And Aggie just goes over and does some magic CGI eye bugging thing with her face to scare him. Why is this allowed? Aggie does not care about hiding her magic at all.
No.
Ever.
She's whimsical and crazy, and they're like, we want to do some fun special effects, magic stuff, because you're not going to be in Halloweentown at all.
Oh my God, they do the same effects in Pixel Perfect with the face.
Yep.
Damn. Same director, guys. Okay, so then she's like, time for the experiment. Oh, also Marnie shows up, and she sits next to Cody. Oh my gosh, they can flirt more. Now she's like, time for the experiment. Put your goggles on, everybody. This is the first day of school. And Aggie's like, let's just do a fucking experiment. Let's mix some sulfur and iron ore and you get a puff of smoke. And then when the smoke happens, a bird appears.
What great science.
And Marnie's like, Grandma. And she runs up to the front of the class. And she's like, what the heck? And Aggie's like, whoops, I accidentally did some magic. And Marnie's like, this is supposed to be science class. They are literally talking in front of the class while all of the other students are still there. And the other students are just listening. Not paying attention, I guess.
It's stupid. And meanwhile, they do this whole conversation where it's like, oh, I found a place for us to hang out. Let me hand you a note for this, even though it's super secret.
They're doing this in front of everybody. And then Marnie goes back and sits down and she's like, oh, haha, my grandma's an amateur magician. And then Cody sneakily pulls the piece of paper out of Marnie's book, takes a look-see, and then puts it back like it has a code. So that looks sus as fuck. Mm-hmm. It makes you think, oh, Cody's definitely evil. This is just like Halloweentown 2, where she liked Cal. I
really don't mind that the Cody's just a pretty conceivable fake out based.
I don't mind it either.
There. It's the right thing to do if you're going to do something like this.
Mm-hmm. So, but I just don't get. It doesn't really make sense for Cody to look at it knowing that he is a fake out and that he is a good person. Why did he actively look at her?
If it was the book was open and he glanced at it.
No, he very deliberately.
He very deliberately. I'm saying they could have done it better.
They could have, yeah. So then Marnie goes to the special locker and she looks to see is anyone around, and then she puts in the combo and the locker opens and she's like, huh, it's empty?
Well, that's crazy.
And someone's clearly watching from around the corner, which they never touch on who this is. I guess it's the Night Dagger guy. And then Marnie gets sucked into the locker, and it's a really cool lounge place for the Halloweentown students. And one kid is like, can we take off our disguise? And Aggie's like, oh, yes, of course. You're perfectly safe here. So they all take off their fleshy human skin disguise.
Yeah, it's just a whole reveal moment.
Reveal. Woo. And they're all monsters. And there's a fairy or a wood nymph, I think they say she is.
Yeah. That's one of my favorite minor characters because it feels like they got one animation of her flying around in the budget because they use the same clip of her flying to the camera all the time.
That's funny. And then all of a sudden there's banging on the locker door, and then chain linked armor hand is knocking on the locker and trying to turn the lock.
That's who was looking at her.
Yeah, you're right. And then Aggie's like, oh, don't worry, it's probably fine. Then they just drop it. And then Cassie talks about making friends. She's like, some cheerleader said to me, what are you looking at, freak? Isn't that sweet? They think I'm a freak.
Aww.
And then Chester talks about eating some of the mice in biology. Apparently, again, day one, let's dissect a mouse.
Crazy.
Maybe day
this
one
isn't
activities.
the first day of school, but it's like early.
It could just be October. It could be like a month in.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And they're transferring in. What I would like to say is this set that we see quite often through the movie, their little hidey hole, has a knight in it.
It becomes really important later. They have like a whole body armor, like in a medieval castle you would see, you know, just some armor sitting around. They just have it in there for decor, and their whole thing is being afraid of the knights.
Marty will consistently say like, "You're not afraid. Like knights aren't real or anything like that." But they are afraid of knights. And there's just, why would they have a suit of armor there?
Whatever. Marnie is very happy that everyone's here and that things are going well. And it cuts to Marnie being happy at home. It's like a little transition of like, everything's gonna work out.
Correct.
And Gwen is proud of her. And Marnie's like, I just really don't want to lead two separate lives. I want to be normal and be a witch at the same time. And then Aggie comes in and asks for some unicorn milk, whatever. And Marnie's like, oh, also, I met a boy. He's new, and I think he likes me. And then Dylan makes a snarky comment, and Marnie makes him float to the ceiling.
Yeah. Honestly, pretty fun little payback, except for the fact that he has to stay there.
He gets stuck there all night, and nobody noticed.
So rude, but also... Fuck you, Dylan.
Gwen didn't even... Dylan has magic. Where was Kimberly J. Brown saying, hey, Dylan could have got himself off the ceiling. He's a warlock. He never
wants to use it.
But he can use it if he tried. I'm honestly still surprised that he has zero interest in it when, like, he's a nerd. And wouldn't he be in it?
It doesn't make sense.
Wouldn't he be more like Justin from Wizards Waverly Place?
It's consistent, but it doesn't make sense. In a lot of ways, I think you're right about this. Wizards of Waverly Place is just them doing Halloweentown right.
Yeah.
I feel like that you unlock something for me. The character dynamics are largely the same.
The sibling dynamics are better. The only thing is like Justin isn't the best of them where Sophie is.
Yeah. Well, also just like the know-it-all nerd of Dylan.
Well, he's the younger one now.
Yeah. Right. And then the youngest one who's just like potentially the most powerful, but also like the youngest.
Yeah. I don't know. Wizards is better.
Wizards is better.
We all know this. And then all of a sudden, I think it's Marnie gets a call from the councilman Edgar. He's Mr. Dalloway.
Yeah.
Marnie.
That's the main man.
Yeah. Marnie's like, it's going great. And Edgar's like, I'm sure... You know, my son is doing great.
My son, Ethan.
My son,
just in case you didn't know, Ethan is my son.
Also, are there any signs of danger? Otherwise, we get your magic. Haha.
No pressure.
You
got this.
And then Marnie realizes that the weight of the world is
she starts
heavy.
breaking down.
She's like, actually, it's horrible. And some of the Halloweentown teens come in and ask about the dangerous nights. Are we sure they don't exist? Bum, bum, bum. New day. Dylan is sore from sleeping on the ceiling. Whatever, we already talked about that. Marnie is leading them to class. And they're like, Marnie, you don't have to show us the class. And she's like, no, this is very important. I don't want anything to go wrong. And then Cody shows up. And she's like, oh, all right, bye guys, you can get yourselves to class. Because she is boy crazy and she wants to flirt with Cody. So then Cody's like, I waited for you after school, but you were gone. Why did he assume
bats his eyes?
Why would he assume that she'd be there after school?
I don't know. No one has told Cody he could do better.
It's because he's new and like everyone in the school knows how stupid Marnie is. And weird she is.
This is why she gets excited when a boy pays attention to her.
But honestly, Cody's a little goofy too, so maybe they are fine with each other.
They're fine when she pays attention, but she never does.
Yeah.
And we'll get through that.
Okay. Aggie is trying to like wave Marnie inside while Cody is talking. And he's about to ask her something, but then Marnie's like, oh, sorry, I have to go see what my grandma wants. And then she leaves. And he's like, I was going to say, if you want to go out with me. And I practiced at the mirror for 3 hours.
Cringe.
Cody's cringe, but so is Marnie. So.
Yeah. Cody cringe positive, Marnie cringe mixed.
Inside, Marnie's mad at Aggie for being a cock block. But then...
That is what your notes say.
Yes, it is what my notes say. Thank you for noticing. And then they see an iron dagger was drawn on the sidewalk. Oh my god, they're here.
I'm gonna bring this up now. What's the point of this?
It's a warning, Benji, to be like, oh my god, the Knights of the Iron Dagger are real. And he just drew a dagger on the sidewalk.
I feel like there would have been easier ways to do this than painting.
Like getting a bunch of chalk outside. Like the deleted scene is him hunched over with chalk, like breaking the chalk and going like, fuck.
The person who's the knight has no magical powers. They had to do this by hand.
That's the whole point of the knights, is that they're normal people trying to like kill all the magical people. Yeah. Anyway. Oh my god. It's perplexing. Why the warning? And Marnie's like, maybe someone's just trying to scare us? This is sus. She basically says this is sus. Which I thought was funny.
Who's the imposter?
And then Aggie magics some rain to wash away the dagger. And she goes, what do you know about the new boy? And Marty's like, no way was it him. I can't believe you'd even say that. And Aggie's like, well, the last time, like, this is good. Good job, Kimberly J. Brown, for this continuity. Yes. Because last time Marnie liked a boy and was like, no way, he's so nice. He was evil the whole time. So this is a good little fake out of like, Marnie, remember what happened last time? But this time it's actually okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't mind this plot at all. It is pretty fun after the second movie. And then the principal comes in and he's all wet from the rain. And then Aggie turns off the rain. And then the monster bag comes over. And then the principal is like, Aggie, you have to go to a different room. You're going to be reassigned. And she's like, is this because of the parrot? And he's like, what? No, this is because of the llama.
Yeah, no, I think Marnie says
Marnie's like, is this because of the parrot? And he's like, what parrot? This is about the llama. Aggie's like, but no student fell asleep in my class. Apparently that's the standard of teaching, is like, did the students fall asleep? No? Then you're doing good.
You're good. Public schools.
This is actually kind of funny because I bet that's her, like, a stereotype of humans from Halloweentown, is that, like, the kids fall asleep in class. And she's like, but I didn't make them fall asleep. I
will say, what brought up a llama into there? What's the reasonable explanation?
She accidentally magicked
I know.
Llama.
But, like, what's the real world explanation they go with?
Literally nobody cares.
Good. That's a good one.
Nobody notices or cares is the reason. And he's like, yeah, nobody fell asleep, but, like, a student got an infection from the llama spitting in his eye. So Aggie's going to go teach history now. Why doesn't he just fire her?
Because he has a crush on her.
That's true. And she is pretty cute. She's Debbie Reynolds.
She's Debbie Reynolds.
She's pretty cute. Okay, so the principal looks at the sidewalk and he kind of half smiles. He
kind of looks at the camera like, you see that?
Wink, wink.
You didn't think the story ended here, did you?
So now we're in class and Marnie asks Aggie,
history class to be clear.
History class. And she's like, Aggie, Grandma, please try not to draw any more attention to yourself. And Aggie's like, don't worry. All right, everyone, welcome to history. Let's start with chapter 15.
Sure.
Sure. The Renaissance. So many fond memories.
You guys know I lived through the Renaissance.
And this could, like, from a regular perspective, this could just be her doing a bit because she's old.
Yeah.
Which I would be down with.
I would be cool with. This is, Marnie gets mad about this, but also at the same time, like, this is completely fine.
Yeah. Marnie gets a note thrown at her from Cody asking her to go out on Saturday. And Marnie turns around and is like, yes. And then he fist pumps. See, they're both just really dorky. So they actually are kind of cute together. Aggie's like, Columbus didn't discover America.
Way to go, woke Aggie.
Facts. Because it's like factually just that's the truth. He wasn't the first one. And fuck Columbus. And then Marnie does a little magic and she makes the clock spin around and the bell rings. And they're like, oh, I guess it's the end of class. Which is so dumb because, like, yeah, she made the school bell ring and it's going to cause confusion and people to leave class. But it very clearly is still the time that it is. She didn't change. She didn't actually time travel and speed up time. She just confused the school. This
gets explained much more in the next scene when they just immediately say, oh, set the clocks back to the right time, but they don't face any consequences.
Yeah, literally this announcement, like, make sure the clocks are set to the right time. That's kind of off, okay, and then also one girl is shit-talking Aggie of like, oh, she's so lame. And then Marnie makes the papers come out of her bag with magic. And Cody, like, kind of sees it happen. So he's like, huh? What?
It really comes, again, we're not revealing who the knight is, but he's the fake out and we're talking about that.
Yeah, we said specifically Cody's a fake out villain.
So, whatever. You can probably figure out who the real one is.
They literally already kind of showed it.
The idea was it's supposed to be one or the other, and you don't get to know which until it's really revealed.
Yeah.
But, yeah, Cody, like, the only reason that this matters is because they're trying to fake it out, because later on, it's like, this never happened.
Yeah, it's mostly just that he's observing that there's some weird stuff happening. So so then Marnie walks around the lunchroom, and I guess the students are just eating lunch now. Who knows what time of the day it is? When you tell
kids that it's lunchtime, they take
But
lunch.
like, it was the weird bell thing. Like, she sped up time. It's so confusing. Whatever. Cody finds Marnie, and he's like, is it cool if I save you a place? And she's like, oh no, I'm trying to find my kids. And then Cody spots Cassie, like, oh, there's one of them.
For being so smitten with Cody, she does a terrible job of trying to, like, busy. Talk with him.
She's busy with the Halloweentown kids. Marnie runs off to join Cassie, and but also I'm really looking forward to Saturday. Okay, and then she runs off, and Cassie is studying the eating of humans. And she's like taking notes and stuff.
Not eating humans.
Oh, sorry. How humans
habits.
Yeah.
It comes off a little differently.
Yeah. No, not cannibalism. Like how students eat lunch. My bad. Marnie's like, where's everyone else? And Cassie's like, oh, where they always are. They're in their like secret hideaway lounge. And Marnie and Cassie show up, and Marnie's like, what are you guys doing here? Get out there. Participate.
Go have fun.
And Ethan's like, what do you mean? And Marnie throws an apple for Pete the werewolf, and he catches it with his mouth.
On a wall.
And Marnie's like, you should try out for the football team. And Nancy, you little fairy wood nymph, you should go for the gardening club. And Chester, big blue goblin guy, you should go for the wrestling team.
He's like, I don't want to wrestle. I like stamps.
And she's like, well, there's a club for that too. Ethan... he's like, I want to be in a play.
I want to be in a play.
This was before High School Musical. I'm like, I'm sure you would, Ryan Evans. I'm sure you would like to be in a play. And Marnie's like, well, auditions are this week. Y'all should go make connections. And
everyone's like, yeah.
It's crazy how instantly they all found a hobby to think about, and they just never considered it before.
Yeah, they were all like, no, we're just going to hang in this little hidey hole room for the rest of our lives. And she's like, go do stuff. And they all immediately go, okay. They could have made this a whole thing. And honestly, I'm fine that they did, because who would have wanted to see that?
Yeah. So it was kind of boring.
It is.
And then Aggie's like, what should I do? And Marnie's like, you've done enough. And then Cassie suggests doing a booth for the Halloween festival. And Aggie's like, oh yeah, you guys should do a haunted house. And they're like, heck yeah, Cassie's going to be in charge. And then they tap the suit of armor that they just happen to have in their lounge. And we see some eyes in it. But it's not addressed at all.
Nope.
Like, so the armor, the night guy got in their hideaway. I mean, he must have.
Yeah.
Or someone is.
Or someone is and is pretending to be a knight. That's what I think is happening.
That is because of stuff that happens later. Okay. This movie's stupid.
We got another 10 pages of notes to go.
Oh my God. Like so much happens and at the same time, nothing happens.
Well, luckily, you know what works well for nothing happening while a bunch of stuff happens?
Montage.
Yeah, let's go to a montage.
Music montage with a really stupid song. I don't remember how it goes. Just like there's some dumb pop songs in this movie. Just take my word for it. They're out at football. Pete catches ball with his mouth.
But then he drops into his hands and he scores.
Yeah.
Woo, football tryouts. He's doing good.
And then Ethan's at the play and Aggie mentions Shakespeare. She was like, I was part of the original production in Shakespeare. And they're like, okay, Aggie. Cassie makes a poster for their haunted house. And Marnie is looking out at all of them eating lunch and getting along with people. And she's really happy about it. And she also sees Aggie and the principal eating lunch at a table in the middle of the lunchroom. What?
Oh my God, are they into each other?
No, why are they eating lunch amongst all the students at a table?
I don't know.
Is what I want to know. Aggie is feeding sandwiches to her bag. And Marnie shakes her head and walks off as Cody watches from the balcony above. Alright, so now that's the end of the montage. It's a new day. Kids are leaving the house. Cody shows up as they're heading out the door, and every kid just walks out past Cody, and Marnie's like, did you want something? And Cody's like, our dates? And Marnie's like, well, shouldn't we get through our first date? But, oh, you meant this is our first date. Like, of course he did, Marnie. It's Saturday.
Yeah,
she's stupid. And she's like, when you said Saturday, I thought you meant Saturday night.
This one, I'm okay with her. You guys should have talked about this.
I'm so mad they didn't have a plan.
Marnie didn't talk about anything.
No, Cody just showed up in the middle of the day, just assuming she would be home.
They needed to talk.
They don't even
but
have
guess
a
what?
plan.
They don't communicate.
They don't even have a plan.
And somehow Cody is just totally cool with this. He just fell in love immediately.
How? The first girl that probably ever talked to him. And she's so horny too that she's cool with it.
They're going to get freaky.
They're going to get freaky immediately. And then they're going to become codependent. And then it's going to be really toxic and bad. And also Cody's never mentioned again. I'm not I'm not sure about this because I haven't seen Return to Halloweentown in a few years.
He is very much dropped.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's never mentioned again. We'll find out in a year when we watch the last Halloweentown movie. Anyway, Marnie's like, we're going to the mall. It's kind of a big deal for these guys. And he's like, don't they have malls in Canada?
They have no malls
Everyone's
in Canada.
acting like Canada has the same exact culture as the United States, which it's similar, but it's not the same.
They have malls in Canada.
Yeah, no, I know. But like, you could still go and see an American mall and be excited about it.
Yeah.
And you could also want to experience American high school and soak up the culture as opposed to Canadian. I know it's not going to be that different, but it's going to be a little different.
Yeah. But also they're not Canadian. None of them have accents.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway, she's like, so tonight we'll go out? And Cody's like, sure. And then he's a little confused about how they all fit in the small car, but then he just lets it go.
He really is just like, I don't really care.
Yeah, I just like
our
Marnie.
opinion on this movie.
I'm just horny.
Our opinion on this movie is I'm just horny.
At the mall, Marnie tells all of the kids that it's important for them to sample all human customs in malls, and they're very human. The malls are very human. And Marnie talks to the kids, and they walk away, and Aggie's like, who are you talking to? Oh, yeah, she's trying to... Marnie's
giving a whole monologue.
Yeah,
and
she's talking,
leaves.
and they all just leave, and to a point, Marnie doesn't notice, and then Aggie just goes, who are you talking to? Aggie, you know what she was trying for. This is a good one. Marnie's like, oh, they're all gone. I guess teenagers are teenagers no matter where they're from. And then the mysterious gloved chain link knight hand with a dagger ring.
Ooh.
It shows up and is watching over them. This is just like Days of Our Lives when they had the mysterious black glove murderer.
They stole it from Halloweentown High.
Yep. Anyway, Dylan is with Natalie, and she's like killing it at an arcade game. She got the second highest score, and he's like, check out who has the highest score.
Oh my god, it's Dylan's stupid username.
And Nat's like, well, I could spend all day playing this with you. And then Dylan's glasses fog up because he's so smitten.
He's horny.
He's horny.
When you get horny, your glasses fog
He
up.
like started hyperventilating or something. Or is he just sweaty?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Who
Can someone
cares?
with glasses explain, please? I don't wear glasses, and neither does Benji. So, okay. So then Cassie and some of the other girls get some clothes, and the boys play mini golf, and Pete howls. But the one girl is like into it. One human girl is like, "Damn, he howled."
Okay.
Feral, she's a furry. And
she's a freak.
She's a little freaky. And then Nat beats the high score that in the game and hugs Dylan. So they're a little flirty. Meanwhile, Marnie is venting to Eggie about how she has no time for Cody and maybe she should just tell him to give it up, like she doesn't have time. But then Cody's right there in the mall. Oh, and Cody's like, oh my gosh, I have no idea of all the malls in town. And Marnie's like, this is the only mall in town. And he's like, well, you look kid-free. And she's like, yeah, but I'm here with my grandma. But then the principal shows up and Aggie leaves with him. So she's like, oh, guess I'm free.
Everyone just goes on their dates.
In the mall.
Yeah.
What a fun time the mall is.
Shout out malls.
Y'all remember Halloweentown?
Halloweentown don't have a mall.
We're at a mall now. They haven't gone to Halloweentown once.
They're not going to
They're not going to.
And that's why the fourth movie's called Return to Halloweentown. That's the continuity that Kimberly J. Brown promised. Should we end the podcast there?
Y'all just want to say fuck it to the rest of the movie and just not even bother. No, we should keep going.
Fine.
Some of the Halloweentown kids all end up at a Halloweentown store. No, I'm sorry, just a Halloween store. And they see some spooky mannequins that are like all monster-like. And they're like, oh, no wonder they're scared of us. I'm scared of us.
They're the most mundane costume.
This is so insensitive and not cool of them to depict us this way.
They all think you're fictional.
I know. And then some guys walk by and say, Halloween is a freak show. Or maybe that the kids are a freak show. I didn't really catch what it is. But then Ethan's like, you're the freak.
Oh my god, Ethan's gonna fight. And this is the 28-year-old jock.
Which, like, what is with these jocks just walking by and being like, you freaks? They're just normal kids standing outside of a Halloween store.
Well, they've been acting weird.
Have they?
At school.
But, like, Pete's cool. He's a cool football player.
Yeah. I don't know.
Whatever. Ethan's like, you're the freak. And they're like, so anyone that has anything to do with Halloween is a freak, huh? You think vampires don't have jobs, families? And the jock is like, shut it. And then Ethan's like, if Halloween is scary, then we should make a mask of your face.
That's a decent line. Good job, Ethan. You figured it out.
And then Ethan gets pushed down and Chester turns into his blue, like, goblin version of himself. And he's like,
Hey, dude, pick on someone your own size.
Yeah, and then he throws him into a pile of hay bales.
Yeah, they're just full on fighting.
Can I just acknowledge that in the last episode, I said bay hails twice without catching myself. It's hay bales.
It was past 10 o'clock. It doesn't count.
Yeah, no, it's only 9:52 right now. So I am able to say hay bales successfully. Thank you. Yeah, so they're fighting. Okay, meanwhile, Cody is with Marnie and is surprised she hasn't run off yet. But then Marnie hears screaming and she runs off to go check it.
Yeah, he's like, wow, you haven't run off. And she says, bye.
Bye. And then Marnie sees Aggie and she's like, what's going on? And Aggie's like, I don't know. And then they see a giant purple cloud and then Aggie spells it away, even though that was their cover. And everyone sees the Halloweentown kids in their monster form and they run away. And Dylan sees Nat as a big furry pink troll, and he's like, oh, you're a troll. Oh, God, you're a troll. And Nat's like, so what? And he goes, what do you mean, so what? And Nat's like, so what? I never want to see you again, you stupid human. And then she runs off.
It's Dylan, sad. She looks so cute.
I know, she's so cute. Dylan is such an asshole. For all the monsters she could be, she's like a beautiful pink troll.
Yeah.
At least she's pink.
She's great.
Imagine if she was green.
Yeah, she'd still probably kill it.
She'd probably be cute. Like, she's so cute with her big hair. Like, it's cute. And he goes, oh, Natalie, wait. Like, Dylan's such a dick. And Marty's like, what happened? And Cassie's like, well, there was a fight. By the way, it's so funny that Cassie's like, oh, my disguise. And she's just in like a dumb witch outfit.
Yeah.
What a weirdo. Cassie's like, there was a fight and then the smoke came out of nowhere. And Ethan's like, it was the Knights. And then they look over and they see a dagger, like,
just
stabbed
sticking in one of the bay hails.
No, it's in a pumpkin.
I was making
Oh, you were making fun of me.
Man, did they try and kill Halloweentown?
Aggie's like, we need to run. And then a guy in a werewolf mask watches them run and laughs. Was he in a werewolf mask? Oh, like the mannequin?
Yeah.
Like he was hiding like it was the suit of armor, but it was a werewolf this time. I'm just so tired of this movie already. Yeah. I'm so tired of it. I do want to be done.
Through it.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so then cut to Sophie. Remember Sophie, guys? Kimberly J. Brown sure does. No one else does.
No one else does.
Sophie's watching the news story about the weird smoke and the monsters at the mall. By the way, they were monsters in front of everybody, and they don't bring up how like that was really bad and how they were exposed. Like nobody cares.
No one cares. They're all already freaks, so they're like, oh, they're probably just dressed up for Halloween because they like Halloween.
The amount of times they expose themselves in this movie and like literally nobody cares is really annoying. Sophie's like, I miss everything. And I'm like, yeah, girl, you're not even in this movie. This is the last time we see her.
This is the last time you see her in the whole series.
She's been in like
This is the last time you see her in acting.
Oh my god, because she's not in the fourth one.
Nope. And this is her last acting role. Justice
for Sophie, guys.
Maybe she just didn't want it, and she just got paid boatload of money. That's what I hope.
I hope so. Marnie's like, yeah, guys, what the hell happened? There are no knights at the mall in the smoke. Someone must have used magic. Like, come on. Knights at a mall? Who even heard of that? And Mom comes in, and she's like, the Halloween council's upstairs. And then Marty gets teleported there. And now she's in front of the council. And they're mad at her. And they're like, you better start begging for mercy. Your own son was attacked. They're talking to Edgar. That's his name? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Ethan. And Edgar's like, it's fine, guys. Marty, why didn't you call for help on the first sight of the daggers? And Marty's like, I thought it was a threat from Halloweentown. That someone was trying to scare us into getting what they wanted. Our magic in the portal... like sealed, that's what they want. So I thought they were trying to scare us. And the council's like, well, let's just end the program and shut the portal. You get to keep your magic, which is a really good compromise, actually. Mm-hmm. Because the whole point was that if there's any sign of danger at all, they get to keep her magic. Or yeah, they get to take her magic. And now they're like, you know what?
They literally just could cancel the bet and she's like, no.
There's a sign of danger and they're like, we'll let you keep your magic. And she goes, no. Edgar's like, you should take that deal. And Marty's like, no, we'll never get this opportunity again. And then they argue. And Marty's like, I have my power until Halloween night.
Midnight on Halloween.
And I intend to use my powers and show you that you're wrong about the humans. Meeting adjourned. And then she magics them away.
She took that power.
Pretty cool magic. And that night, Marty's talking with her mom. And she's like, I had a chance to save our magic. And Mom's like, well, now that you're thinking clearly, would you have done it any differently? And Marnie's like, no. And then the magic like pot pours some hot chocolate and a marshmallow spider gets in the mug.
Side note on the marshmallow spiders, they talk about how cute and great they like, don't you love marshmallow spiders? I would hate these guys. These are like presumably sentient creatures that then you eat in a hot drink.
It's like the chocolate frogs in Harry Potter.
It's like, what the hell? No, let's not.
Yeah. And Gwen's like, remind me why I don't like magic.
Thank you, Kimberly.
Thank you, Kimberly, for keeping that continuity that the mom hated magic before. Also, yeah, just another instance of like, look at this fun little CGI I can throw into the movie.
The spider is almost cute, but it's not.
It's not. All right, enough wallowing. You still got some charges to take care of? Why did I write that? Did they say that?
Yeah, like you gotta take charge of this. I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know. Marnie's like, I'm surprised all the kids haven't run back to Halloweentown. And she's like, nah, some of them are stubborn like you. For the records, a lot of them did go back to Halloweentown, and we're only keeping like the named ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before this, there were a decent number of unnamed.
They said it was close to a dozen before, and now it's like 5-ish. Yeah. Downstairs, Aggie's with the kids, and she's like, Marnie, the magic wasn't yours to bet in the first place, and they offered to let us keep it. Like, fuck you, Marnie. And then she walks away. So Aggie's mad at Marnie, which I would be too, because Aggie's had this magic for hundreds of years. And Marnie is just very willy-nilly with it. Can she even just say, like, yeah, I'll give it
Apparently, because they sure accepted the terms and it comes to fruition.
Halloweentown lore is stupid. The kids are like, it wasn't the knights. It was just some punks.
Yeah, Ethan's like, you see this sword? I had nothing to do with
Yeah,
this
he literally
sword.
holds it up. He's like, this wasn't me.
This wasn't me. It's not me. I took acting, so you can't tell I'm lying.
He's like, I want to be in a place so that I can learn how to act because I'm lying to everyone's face right now. If we stay together, we'll figure it out. And Ethan's like, man, I don't wanna. And everyone's like, shut up, Ethan. And
yeah, Ethan, why are you even here? What good have you contributed?
I don't know. And then they're like, oh, we only have a week. So Halloween isn't a week. That's what we learned. So at school, Marnie and Aggie are walking in the halls, and Aggie sees the principal, and he's like, you know what? History really isn't for you. And Aggie's like, but I love history. I really try to bring it to life. And he's like, well, the parents are complaining about you. And then her bag bites a hole in his pants. What a fun scene.
Yeah. I don't know what she means by bringing history to life.
I don't know. And the parents are complaining about her.
They just couldn't come up with a fun CG gag for history, so they said, we're going to do it off screen.
The whole gag is like, oh, look at Aggie bouncing around from subject to subject. Okay, so then we cut to Dylan trying to apologize to Natalie, and he's like, I've only said I'm sorry 12 to the 9th power times. What's 12 to the 9th power? Pretty big, huh?
Yeah. I was going to try and calculate it, but man, it's too big.
What a freaking nerd.
Like, that's just a stupid, unremarkable number to pick.
12 to the 9th
That's
power.
just lazy writing.
It is.
If you're going to do numbers like that, have it be something meaningful.
Yeah.
10 to the 31st power, because that's Halloween. I don't know.
No, that would have been dumb. We would have rolled our eyes harder at that.
Maybe. But 12 to the 9th is stupid as hell.
It's just saying like infinite. Like he has to be nerdier than that.
A Google times.
A Google?
Yeah. It's the one with 100 zeros. That's what Google's named after.
Whatever. So he's like, I'm sorry. It was just such a shock. I'm used to looking at you when you're all cute. And Nat's like, I don't think I look better this way. Like,
I put on this is basically, this is just a brief moment of stepsister from Planet Weird. I am grotesque. This saggy flesh of skin. But it's done worse because the whole opening scene of Bubble World is incredible. And this is just an imitation that wishes it was.
Yeah, Ariel in Stepsister from Planet Weird thinking she is so disgusting and people are disgusting the whole time is so funny. And it's not as done as funny here because it's not trying to be as funny. It's really just, she's like, I don't like humans. And he's like, but you're normally a big pink puffball. And she's like, yeah. And back home, I'm beautiful. You, Dylan, are one of the ugliest creatures I've ever laid my eyes on. But I thought you were sweet and nice, and that's all that mattered. Which I like this little storyline, actually, of them both being like, no, I think you're ugly. She's like, I never thought you were cute. I just thought you were nice. So then Cassie grabs Marnie and brings her over to the locker where the lounge is, and it's all busted open. So somebody wanted inside, even though we know that someone was inside before because of the eyes and the thing.
But they don't know it.
But why is it busted open now?
Because it was locked.
I don't like this movie. I sound like Dylan. So then they go inside and everything looks normal. And they're like, I don't get it. Everything looks normal. If we're dealing with someone from Halloweentown, they wouldn't smash their way in. Maybe it's just a problem. Or maybe this is a problem. Maybe it's someone not from Halloweentown. I'm going to go find Aggie. Cassie, you stay here. And then the suit of armor is like turning its head and watching her. And now we cut to gym class because Aggie's teaching gym now. And she's like, let's play basketball.
And if you can't teach, you teach gym.
Marnie comes in to talk to Aggie, and Marnie blames Aggie for drawing attention, and that's why the bad guys are here. And Aggie's like,
they're having this conversation quite publicly.
Yeah, well, the other students are just out playing basketball. And Aggie's like, well, at least I can keep a secret. Maybe you said something to your little friend. And Marnie's like, oh yeah, I told them I'm a witch with a secret clubhouse. Like, no. And Aggie's like, well, it's sus that he showed up at school at the same day and our house and the mall. And Marnie's like, maybe he just likes me, Grandma.
Yeah, they fight over this.
And they're like, whatever, we're done
Aggie's
talking.
just like momentarily just so pissed about like Marnie betting the magic.
And that like her boyfriend is sus.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Marnie's trying to just blame Aggie for being a weirdo.
And they both are right.
It's true. And then while walking in the halls, Marnie gets pulled into a closet by Cody. He just grabs her and pulls her into a closet. And he's like, what's with standing me up all the time and all this weird stuff happening? And what's with the weird locker? I saw the note that your grandma gave you. He admitted it. And Marnie's like, oh my God, she was right about you. I don't know what you want, but you need to back off. And Cody's like, the only thing I was trying to do is get to know you better. I like you. I didn't know that was a crime. And then he leaves. And Marnie's like, dang, maybe he was just being genuine.
Man, when you scare your boyfriend away because you think he's an evil knight trying to drive you and your magic friends out of the world. But
Classic
he's actually just like a human boy.
He's actually just a human boy, and you thought when you first met him that he had a tail, but he didn't.
Crazy. I forgot that's something. Like, I already forgot that.
Yeah. In the lounge, the armor is still watching Cassie still. That's what I wrote. I laughed about that earlier. In the lounge, the armor is still watching Cassie still. She starts looking at the armor, and then she opens the mask and she screams and it cuts, and Marnie runs into the lounge and Cassie's gone.
No, not Cassie.
And the armor,
she was my favorite.
The armor's knocked over and Marnie goes, oh, Cassie.
Poor Cassie.
Oh, Cassie, no. And then they're at home and they're like, poor Cassie, I can't believe they got her. You left her alone in the lounge that you knew was broken into.
Yeah, it seems like your fault.
Yeah, it's Marnie's fault. And they're like, do you think they're going to come after us next? And Marnie's like, no, they're not, because you guys are going home.
We're going to lose our magic and you're going to go home. Yeah. It's a classic lose-lose.
Well, she wants to keep them safe, so that's a win at least, as if they're safe. Cassie's already probably fucking dead.
I mean, she's literally not, but yet.
Well, they don't know that yet. BenG, spoilers. Spoiler alert, she is dead.
Now you don't know which one to believe.
And then Aggie comes in and she's like, don't pack your broomsticks just yet. Aggie is like, y'all, I put a spell on our clubhouse. And it was so that humans couldn't get in, and the spell isn't broken. So it was someone from Halloweentown that was inside.
Crazy, wild. Oh my God, it's not Cody.
It's not Cody.
Or any other human.
Or a knight. It was someone pretending to be a knight. And so like, no one's going back yet. Let's stick together, even though one of us is pig-headed old woman who can't stop using magic. That's Aggie talking.
Aggie's just like making fun of.
Yeah, she's like, it is my fault. And Marty's like, or... even though one of us is in over her head and says stupid, selfish stuff because she's scared and frustrated.
They're actually talking about each other.
And then they're like, we definitely have to stick together. And then they hug.
Yep, doesn't matter. Whatever.
And everyone's like, did we miss something? Like, what?
You didn't miss much.
And the mom's like, we still have to send for help and find Cassie. And Aggie's like, don't worry too much. Witches are tough. Only a witch's glass can hold them. Yeah. Guys, remember this lore that was clearly established across all 3 Halloweentown movies?
Yeah.
A witch's glass, not only can you call people,
it's not only a telephone, it's also a jail.
You can trap witches in there. It's the only thing strong enough to hold them. Unlike, a penetrating spell that was used in the first one.
Yeah.
Or a gray spell that was used in the second one.
The only way that's possible is a witch's glass.
Witch's glass. Put them in witch's glass. Only way you can catch a Cromwell. Cromwell's too quick. All right.
Can't catch Cromwell.
Ethan is like, I have a witch's glass. I'll go get it and see if we can look inside. Maybe Cassie's in the witch's glass or something. I don't know. And then they realize someone's outside, I guess.
They all get very suspicious.
And it's Cody. And Gwen accidentally puts a spell on him before realizing it was him showing up with flowers.
Aww.
Aww.
But also...
oh my fucking god, he fucking dead.
Why do they just keep killing Cody?
Poor Cody. And they're like, is it a knight? And Marty's like, no, it's just an idiot who keeps trying to be my knight. Oh, he brought me flowers.
That's such a...
Mom, how could
that's such
you?
A try-hard line. Like,
yeah.
Oh, it's just my night.
How could you, Mom? And Gwen's like, sorry, he should wake up pretty soon-ish, probably. All right, so then cut to Ethan grabbing his witch's glass, and Cassie's in there, and he's like, what? What are you doing in there? Oh, sorry. Well, he is a little confused. He's like, what are you doing? And Cassie's like, what's going on? And Ethan's like, I don't know. And then Aggie comes in and Ethan hides the glass. And Aggie reassures Ethan, she's like, don't worry, Cassie's gonna be fine. And Ethan's like, yeah, okay, good night. Because it's established right now that Cassie and Ethan are like friends. And they're close
believable
friends.
enough, but yeah, they didn't show us anything to believe it.
It's because she's a witch and he's a warlock, so they're best friends.
Yeah.
And then Ethan's like, oh man. And then Ethan runs out of the house with Aggie watching from the window. She watches him leave and she's never suspicious of him. Ever.
Does Aggie care that these children she is partially responsible for are just leaving?
Does she care that what's clearly evil with bad intentions? What about, guys, remember when he was going to get the witching glass and then he didn't?
Yeah, they all forgot about it with the whole Cody situation.
Oh my god.
Speaking of Cody
wakes up while on a broomstick with Marty. And he's like, oh, I have a bad taste in my mouth. And Marty's like, yeah, magic tastes bad.
Everyone knows that. That's part of the lore.
And he's like, oh, wait, what? Oh my god, we're on a broomstick. Whoa, it's magic. And she's like, yeah, I'm a witch. And he's like, what the fuck?
It's like, I'm dreaming.
So this explains everything. And Marty's like, yeah, questions later. For now, we have fun. And then they kind of ride around on a broomstick.
Scoot.
And it actually is kind of awkward when you're watching it. It's just kind of like, woo.
Because they're not actually moving.
Yeah, we're on a broomstick. Woohoo. Woo. It's kind of awkward. Why is she allowed to do this?
I don't know.
Are there no rules about telling people that you're a witch?
Apparently not.
It's not like wizards, which they weren't consistent about that either.
It's Halloweentown.
Halloweentown, baby. It
I
makes
mean,
no fucking sense.
Her whole goal is to get humans to care.
True. So I guess they're just allowed to tell anyone that Halloween stuff exists.
I guess. What's the harm? They'll just close the portal.
I mean, to be fair, I guess they never really established that it was a hard rule that you couldn't tell people. Because most of the other movies, they're in Halloweentown.
Yeah.
And that's the point.
Everyone in Halloweentown knows.
They're like, what if we take the Halloweentown out of the Halloweentown movie? That sounds like a great idea.
What if we just have town?
What if we just Halloween Space Town? Let's go to high school.
School.
Okay, so then we see Ethan running into the school. This is after hours. That's what he snuck out to do. And I guess the high school is just unlocked.
It's very convenient, but there's actually again a reason for this. Is because he was meeting up with the principal.
No, why
apparently.
is the school unlocked? Oh, the principal unlocked
Yeah.
is what you're saying? Whatever. And then the principal's looking at his dagger ring. Guess what,
Shocker.
guys? It was the
principal.
It's
Well,
principal
the only other suspect other than the person that we swiftly called out to be a fake out?
And then Ethan's like, where's my dad? And the principal's like, he isn't here yet. But then he shows up in the portal. And we're like, oh my God, it was the principal who drew the dagger on the sidewalk. Oh my God,
but the real evil person is the head councilman of the Halloweentown court. How did they let their main government leader backstab them again?
Yeah. So, guess what, guys? Whoop, there's my pin. Remember when there was a knight just standing outside of their house before they even went to school? So the principal was already roped in. This is like the day they decided to do this, wasn't it? So Edgar heard that it was like the night that she had promised the magic. And so Edgar was like, oh my God, we can get the Cromwell magic. Let me go talk to this fucking human guy. And then convinced him instantly that he needs to help me with my evil plot. If I tell him he's a knight, he's going to be all in. And it's just so lucky that it was the principal. And he was convinced enough that he got in a suit of armor and stood outside their house and watched them and did nothing else.
This is actually a plot hole I think you're bringing up. Here's the reason why. The very same night that Marty tells the plan of bringing
That's
students.
what I'm saying. The turnaround time is insane.
It's impossible.
Or was it Edgar in a suit of armor, just cosplaying?
Could be. That could be.
He's like, I'm going to cosplay my evil intentions.
I'm going to find a knight by dressing as a knight.
Also, it was Edgar that went into the lounge because no human went in there.
Yeah.
And he was just kind of fucking around, going in the suit of armor that they conveniently had as decor.
Grr.
And why did they bust up the locker? To scare them?
I guess.
It doesn't make sense.
Maybe Human Knight was, maybe the principal tried to get in there by force.
Oh, no.
And that let the door be open when the Edgar wouldn't know the freaking passcode.
Anyway, this whole scene is literally just them being like, yes, we did do these evil things. And now we're going to do more evil things.
It's just exposition for villains.
Literally.
Except Ethan's like,
no
one was going to get hurt.
Why did you do this to Cassie? And he's like, yes, unfortunate but necessary. And then Cassie, through the witching glass, sees the principal. And is like, what the fuck? And he's like, yes, it's me. I am part of an ancient noble family that was keeping magic out. But here he is like working with this magic guy. And Edgar's like, please, you wouldn't even know about the knights if I hadn't found you and told you. And he's like, but I'm still a knight, right?
But I
he's
like the knights.
Yes, of course. And Ethan's like, Dad, she's my friend. And Edgar's like, you didn't care about your friends when you caused the commotion at the mall and stabbed the dagger into the pumpkin. You're lucky I was there to give you some cover. It's pathetic. How long? But you're such a good boy. Did everything you're told. And then Ethan's like, you said no one was going to get hurt, that they would just give up. And Edgar's like, yeah, they just need to realize that humans suck. And then we're going to shut the portal. And Cassie's like, the Cromwells are going to stop you.
The Cromwells, they are the holy saviors.
They're so quick.
You can't catch a Cromwell.
And then he goes, not without their magic. On Halloween, the magic is mine. What?
Cool.
So that's all the evil explanation you'll ever need. Don't you just love it when the villains explain to themselves what they already know?
Yeah. It's just pure for us. They said, here's what the third act's going to be like. And we're like, can we just stick with 2?
It was so funny that, like, the dad showed up and put the purple fog there. And then Ethan took out a knife and stabbed the pumpkin.
He must have been holding onto it.
Like, what the fuck is that? Guys, this wasn't me. This wasn't my knife.
I can do this.
Okay, so let me get like a 2-second scene where the Cromwell women are talking and they're sitting at a table. They're like, let's do our magic. But Sophie's not there. Specifically, remember Sophie? She was the best at magic.
She was literally the best of them.
And now they're doing magic without her. And they're like, boobity
and she's old enough that it's not like a detriment anymore.
I know. She's probably older than Marnie was. You think Sophie's older than 13, the magic number to become a witch? She probably is. They're like, boobity boobity boo, let's do our magic. By the way, their magic in this movie is like colored. And you see their little magic sparkles.
Yeah,
like
they
before,
each have their own magic little colors.
Remember in the first movie when it was just little sparkles?
Yeah.
They said fuck that concept. The continuity's not there. Kimberly, where are you?
Kimberly, you messed up.
Kimberly, come on. And she's like, I didn't see the special effects while I was filming. And I'm like, girl, you right. That was the director's fault. So then Gwen goes into a mirror to find Cassie because the witch's glass obviously is the only thing powerful enough to hold a witch, and you can just go in and out and also call people from. Guys, this was explained so clearly. How are you confused?
Everything in this movie makes perfect sense, and we don't need to think about it.
Yeah, that's a good way to think about it. All right. At school now, Aggie's telling Marnie to keep her eyes open. By the way, remember when Aggie was watching Ethan leave?
That never came
back. Whatever. Aggie tells Marnie to keep her eyes open to be aware of her surroundings. And then the principal shows up. And Aggie's like, dang it. I'm going to be reassigned again, aren't I? What? So kid lost an ear, whatever. And principal's like, no, actually. I'm just disappointed there isn't going to be a haunted house anymore. And Marnie's like,
yeah, you really wanted that haunted house, huh?
Marnie's like, why not? We're heading there right now. And principal's like, oh, well, I just thought with so many of your students going back to Canada. Oh, well, I can't wait. And then he leaves. And Marnie's like, that guy is sus. And Aggie's like, what, Phil? No, you can't believe you'd even suspect him. And Marnie's like, and she's like, oh, I hate payback. You just don't want me to be happy.
So she doesn't go and check on him. She just says, okay, beg. You can slowly walk over.
Yeah, so she sends her monster bag over. But this is a good little, like, this time it was Aggie's boyfriend that turned out to be evil.
Yeah.
And then, so Aggie sends her in her monster bag to his office, and Phil, the principal, I'm going to call him Phil now, he's wearing his ring, and then he gets called into the main office, and he puts the ring in his pocket, and then the bag bites him. So, yeah.
Yikes.
Cut to like them setting up for the festival. They're like, let's make the haunted house. It's easy when you do magic literally in front of a bunch of people. Marnie goes boop 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 boop. Now
literally
there's a haunted house.
Fully in public because no one cares.
No one cares.
Maybe the rest of the human world is just way more magical than ours, but we don't get to see it.
Yeah. And then before the spell finishes, Cody comes over and he's like, I had a crazy dream while we were flying. And then Marnie goes boopity boop, and she finishes a spell, and they all go into the haunted house.
And Cody's like, wait, I wasn't dreaming?
I wasn't dreaming. You're actually a witch. And Marnie's like, is that a problem? And he's like, I don't think so. You're like the good kind, right? And she's like, yes, I am. And then Dylan comes over, and he's like, can you come fix the walls, Marnie? And she's like, yeah, okay, bye. And then Cody trips over the bag, the monster bag, and Marnie grabs it. So Marnie gives Aggie the bag, and Aggie finds the ring from Phil, and she's like, well, I'm such a fool. He is a knight. And Marnie's like, you're not a fool. A flirt, maybe, but not a fool. You're one to fucking talk, Marnie.
Marnie
like
is
she
a fool.
literally.
Let's talk about the cow thing real quick.
Can we talk about how she gave over the super special spell book to Cal, brought him into her grandmother's lair? That's so much worse than Aggie just flirting with a guy.
Yeah.
So then we get a short little scene where Marnie's like, I'm gonna go check on Dylan. And then Dylan's trying to plan out the haunted house and make it all scary with like blood and stuff.
But the kids are like, no, they all think we're scary enough anyways. We're just gonna be fun.
We just want to show them our true culture, which is exactly like this culture.
We're gonna do the most G-rated haunted house ever.
The trolls have a tea party and whatever, and it's just the monsters doing normal American stuff. Whatever. Aggie goes out and gives Phil his ring back. And she's like, I hope you know the men you're trying to emulate were bigoted, hideous, evil human beings. I'm honestly a little surprised that it fits. And then she turns and she turns the ring into a snake in his hands.
Pretty good.
And she goes, Happy Halloween.
It is Halloween. Wow.
Damn. So get fucked, Phil. So cut to the festival. Now it's nighttime and it's Halloween. And a really funky song is playing. And everybody's all dressed up. And Marnie's in her classic witch outfit, which good job, Kimberly J. Brown, about this continuity. It is the same witch outfit that you had before.
She only has one costume.
Yep. And same with Aggie. They're just dressed like witches. And they're outside the haunted house. And people are like, this haunted house is really lame. It's
not scary.
It's not scary. And the ghost didn't even say boo.
And the kids were like, what ghosts do you know that say boo?
And inside Dylan's like, this is lame. And they're like, monsters are nice and they eat cookies.
Yeah, but no one likes it because it has no sauce.
It has no sauce. And then Edgar comes in through his special magic door, and
so some of the humans, they're like, oh, that part was cool.
That part was cool. That was the best effect in here. And Edgar's like, this haunted house could use a little excitement. And then he does some magic and he makes the wax figures come to life, and they start terrorizing people. And Ethan's like, Dad, no.
Dad.
And Ethan is dressed like a cowboy.
I love it. There's no reason.
Good. And it's like that cow print cowboy look. It's so amazing. He is a warlock, and he's like, no, I'm going to dress as a cowboy.
I'm a cowboy, baby.
It's so amazing. And people start getting chased all around by like the monsters, whatever. And Aggie and Marnie are like trying to save some people, but Marnie's actually kind of bad at it because she's still not good at magic. It's been 3 fucking movies and she still can't do magic good. And then one monster sets the place on fire and Aggie and Marnie can't fix it. And then this is the best part of the movie. A skeleton comes out and Marnie tries to spell it away, but she ends up making it a giant skeleton. And this giant skeleton is such a little cutie pie.
This is when the only thing I remembered about this movie going in is just how cute this little CGI skeleton is.
And it's what great. Our friend Beans, he's been on the podcast before a couple times actually. Anytime we talk about this movie, he's like, the only thing I remember is the funny skeleton.
He's just a cute little guy.
He's such a cute little skeleton. So guys, if you're gonna watch any part of this movie, go towards the end when all the monsters are around and see the cute little skeleton, who's actually a giant skeleton. He's amazing.
He's great.
And Cody's like, what's happening? Why are you using your magic like this? I thought you were cool. And Marnie's like, no, it's not us. And then they see Edgar up on the pumpkin, which is like the doorway to the haunted house, looking just super evil. I don't know why he's outing himself like this. He's just an evil guy.
He's just evil. And he's like, I'm evil.
I don't know. And then he starts using his magic red sparkles for evil. And Aggie uses her magic blue sparkles for good. So, really cool play-by-play action from me right now. Red sparkles bad, blue sparkles good. And all the monsters are like gone now, I guess, somehow. I don't know, pretty dramatic jump. I bet it is jarring in the movie. And Phil's like, did you see that? They did this. They're monsters.
Oh my God. Phil, I'm still going to be evil for a reason.
Because he hates magical creatures. That was like the whole point of his culture. His his ancient culture. He drops
it when Aggie's like, I'm magical.
I know. And Marnie's like, no, we're the good ones. Oh my God, it's almost midnight. And Phil's like, it's us or them. Who's it gonna be? And he just completely starts an angry mob.
And they're all like, kill them. Kill them.
And the magic folk get chased into their haunted house.
So I think Marnie lost the bet.
I think she did. They shut the door with the mob outside, and then Edgar appears in there with Ethan behind him. And Aggie's like, I was right. You are responsible for all this. I don't know when Aggie ever figured this out. I don't think she ever did. But she says I was right. So.
Yeah. She's taking credit.
And he goes, well, I can't take all the credit. And then he shows Ethan standing behind him. And they're like, what? Ethan, no. All right, Marnie, time to pay up. And Marnie's like, no, humans have changed. No one was threatening us until you showed up. And Edgar's like, too bad, them's the rules. Now your magic is mine. Magickas fix 'em. And then his red sparkles make their blue and green sparkles go away. And they go, oh, our magic. And then the humans come in and Cody helps Marnie up. And Marnie goes, he took my magic. And then Phil comes in and asks if Aggie's okay. Now he's concerned about Aggie. And Edgar's like, bro, you literally started an angry mob on her.
He's like, oh, I guess so. I forgot. It's been 30 seconds.
And then he's like, come on, Ethan, let's go. And Ethan's like, no, I'm staying, which is really, it's especially funny that he's dressed like a cowboy and he's standing up to his dad.
And he's the only one that's like dressed in a costume.
I know. And Edgar's like, a disappointment right to the very end.
Whoa, that's her son.
Well then, this is goodbye to all of you. And then Edgar opens his special door and the crowd boos him.
I love DCOM crowds. They do whatever you ask them to. It's great.
So stupid. Edgar goes, this doorway never should have been open. And now with these new powers, I can make sure it's never gonna open again.
And then he like leaves.
Marnie goes, someone has to stop him. Marnie's acting is so bad. Just, my magic. They took my magic. Someone needs to stop him. And then Edgar goes, Halloweentown. Oh, no, probably not Edgar. They go, Halloweentown. It's gone. Like, we never even saw it this movie.
Yeah, what good stakes there.
They go, Halloweentown. It's gone. And the humans go, yeah. They don't even know what Halloweentown is. And they're like, yeah, it's gone. Halloweentown. Fuck that place. And Cody goes, what's wrong with you guys? Marnie is your friend. And now what? Now that she's normal, you'll like her again? And I really wish someone from the back would go, we never liked her. But that doesn't happen. I think she's just a weirdo the whole time. And they don't give a fuck about it.
I feel like this movie fucked up the landing, the takeoff, and the taxi. And the flight. Let's be real.
Marty says, I kept thinking we need to fit in, but how do you know if someone truly likes you if you don't show them who you are? And then the kids take off their fleshy disguises. So I guess they were being chased by an angry mob before they even showed their true form. The principal is just like, it's them. And everyone's like, yeah, the freaks that did the stupid fucking haunted house, it's definitely them. But now they're taking off their disguises. And Pete goes, I'm really a werewolf. And someone in the crowd goes, that is so freaky.
It's so true. Again, love the crowds. They're the best character.
And then someone goes, I'm an ogre. And I'm a troll. And Dylan's like, I'm just awkward. This is all there is. I feel like continuity-wise, they forgot that Dylan has powers.
Yeah. Come on. What are you talking about, Kim?
They never mention it at all. And I think they mentioned it in the second one that he has powers, right?
I think so.
Did he use his powers in the second one? No, maybe
he's like, I chose not to.
He definitely, he was forced to use them in the first one, but he really is the whole time like, I don't want powers. Whatever.
What a lame-o.
He is a lame-o.
How do people like him?
I don't know.
People do like him.
Really?
Yeah.
He's annoying. Cody says, and these are the people you want to destroy? Sure, they look different. And then someone in the crowd goes, yeah, they do.
It's good.
Yeah, they do.
They
look.
Yeah, they're different.
I love DCOM crowds when they shout out stuff. It's so funny. But he goes, are they really any different on the inside? And then this random jock goes, I don't know what werewolves are like on the inside, but Pete is the best halfback we've ever had.
I have to mention it because I'll be mad if I don't. The entire movie, we only ever saw him play football as a wide receiver, including Marnie's recommendation to join it. And then they say halfback, which is running back in layman's terms.
Yeah, I feel like the whole point is that he's really good at catching.
Yeah, so what?
Why is he a halfback?
I don't know. It's really not that important, and it's completely conceivable that they would be like, actually, you're better as a running back.
Why couldn't they just say
wide receiver? But they could just say receiver. But he's the best receiver we've ever had. It works completely well.
Yeah, Yeah. It's kind of funny because it's like a dog. But whatever. And then they're like, yeah, Natalie's the president of the science club. And Dylan's like, co-president. Whatever.
Fuck you, Dylan.
Phil goes, the principal, he goes, yeah, this ring never really fit.
You don't get to just... Phil,
you started an angry mob, Phil.
Phil, you were an accessory in the kidnapping of a girl.
So true. Well, he might not have really known about that.
Yeah.
Anyway, Marnie's like, humans really have changed.
Yay.
And then Edgar gets blasted back through the door. And Cassie's here. Yay,
Gwen. And also, some random people run through the door.
Gwen found her and apparently was still able to do this, even though, like, the Cromwell magic was taken, supposedly. Whatever. Also, more of the kids are here. And just some random fucking green guy who looks like a sea creature, kind of.
He looks like an extra in the zombies movies.
No, he's too green. He's even greener than the zombies. Like, who is that guy? Was he there before? Why are there more people coming through? Whatever. Marnie's like, you forgot that witch's glass is also good for communicating between worlds.
Didn't you forget about that? Did you not watch movie 1, 2, and 3?
Everybody knows this. I believe all of Halloweentown now can see that humans have changed, and which means magic will fix them.
And they each get their magic back.
Even though
they just allow it to happen even though they don't have the magic on them. I don't know.
How can they do a magic spell if they don't have their magic?
Did Sophie ever lose her magic?
Supposedly. And then they get their magic back. Their, red, blue, and green sparkle magic that is now color coded. And Edgar's like, you can't do this to me. I won't let you get away with this.
He lets him get away with it.
Okay, no. So Edgar specifically says, I won't let you get away with this. And then the council comes in and says, but we will.
I forget. Yeah, my God. It's so clunkily worded. It is funny. Accurately said. It feels inaccurate.
Yeah. It's so funny. They're like, guys, we have to go in and say a really cool line.
But we will let you get away with this, Marnie.
We'll let you take the magic back, Marnie. We'll let you get away with that. And Edgar's like, oh, no. Humans suck. And the council's like, well, humans are apparently much more accepting than you led us to believe, Edgar.
Yeah.
You're fired. And then they put him in a witching glass. I don't think that was a
democratic process, but you know what? Whatever.
This council is very new.
Yeah, they don't have
They don't have a process. So they put Edgar in a witching glass. And Aggie's like, I'll deal with you later. But for now, we have a haunted house to put on. Happy Halloween! And then the party's bopping. The monsters and the humans are together. My thought is that I feel like everyone's really only going to get along like this on Halloweentown when it's not that jarring to see literal monsters because everyone's kind of dressed freaky.
Well, maybe eventually people will start. It's a long-term process.
I feel like come next week, everyone's going to be racist towards these people.
Yeah, but that's humans. They're racist because they care.
A bunch of monsters come through the portal. Everyone's just having a great time. So, why go to Halloweentown when you can just come to the human world, which is way lamer and time moves faster? Remember that?
Yeah, I
no one else does. So then,
I did forget about that.
So then we get some little conclusion with Dylan and Natalie. So Dylan apologizes to Natalie.
Everyone's favorite D plot.
And Dylan's like, we have so much in common, and I like being with you. And Natalie's like, I feel the same way. And then they're about to kiss, but then Natalie goes, I'm sorry, it's just too gross.
Yeah, they think they're too ugly.
And then Dylan's like, oh, thank God. Can we just friends? And they're like, yeah, we're just friends.
And then they never talk again.
I actually like that as an ending.
I think it's fine.
Actually, yeah, no, we both think each other are too ugly.
But I feel like she should have had some sort of cameo in return, but whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
It's not important. Who cares about return?
Yeah. All right. Final stretch now. Phil tells Aggie that he wishes she would stay at the school. And she's like, well, there needs to be some changes. The athletic department, for example, field hockey needs flying monkeys. Sure, she's a horrible teacher. I don't know why he's keeping her on, but whatever. And then Gwen's like, where's Marnie? Oh, she's up on her broom with Cody.
That's the only date she knows.
How romantic. And then they kiss.
Oh my God,
on
they
the
kiss?
broomstick.
Whoa.
They kiss. And then they fly away. And it's the end of the movie.
We're done.
And that's it. That's Halloweentown High. Oh my God.
We talked about that way too long.
I know. It's because we kept talking about the continuity.
Kimberly J. Brown, you should have done better.
You should have done better.
If you were going to write this movie,
better.
write it better. But if you are being forced to write the movie, something went wrong earlier.
This movie is very unnecessary and boring and it has nothing to do with Halloweentown.
But at least there's a cute skeleton.
There is a very cute skeleton.
Where did we rank this before?
Oh my gosh, I didn't even look. I should have prepared better.
We ranked this 92nd, the best of the Halloween towns.
Why? I so disagree with this. So this is where we all agreed that Return to Halloweentown was definitely the worst one.
Yeah.
So we took Halloweentown High, Halloweentown, and Halloweentown 2. We were in a deadlock of the order that these should go in. They're literally right next to each other. We took a vote and somehow Halloweentown High ended up on top.
No, all of the votes tied, if you remember.
Yeah, so how did Halloweentown High get on top?
I think because it had 2 firsts and 2 lasts. And we said, sure, that goes on top.
My order is the complete opposite. It's Halloweentown 2, Halloweentown, Halloweentown High.
This is the order that I had it. I was High, Halloweentown, Halloweentown 2. I don't know. Again, they're all very similar.
You cannot tell me that this is better than the other two. It's
I'm probably not going to tell you that. Let me ruminate because the other ones were also very boring. But this one had a cute skeleton. And she looked at the note and it said Canada.
That's
true. I don't know.
Yeah, so final ranking was 92 from Jank House. Benji, you have at 90. I have it at 89. It's all in the same spot.
We all think they're bad.
We all think it's bad. And I have it in D tier. So
I assume I do too.
It's not an F tier. I'm giving it, better than F tier. Because there are definitely worse DCOMs. But it's not great. You know what is an F tier? Return to Halloweentown. Y'all get ready for that one.
Woo! But actually, what we should get ready for is our next DCOM.
Whoa. So yeah, that's Halloweentown High. Thank you guys for listening to us talk about it. Sorry if you really like this movie. We don't. And Halloweentown, the lore is super messy, and I'm upset about it. And will I ever watch this movie again? There's a good chance that answer is no.
What do you think our next DCOM is going to be? I think it's going to be the sequel. Xenon.
That would be fun.
The sequel.
Ooh. What we haven't really done Christmas much, and after Halloween is over, obviously it's just Christmas immediately.
Yeah, they don't have any Thanksgiving movies.
Yeah, so I'm gonna say Christmas again.
And
you said Xenon the sequel, so let's spin the wheel. Oh boy, it's Dad Napped.
Okay.
You
know what?
Fun.
The more we get these out of the way, the less we have to deal with them later.
Well, yeah, they all have to get done at some point. Spoiler alert: we don't like this one. This one's so bad.
Tune in 2 weeks to hear us talk about Dad Napped.
Dad Napped.
Follow our TikTok. Follow the podcast. Share it with your friends. Share it with your mom. Good night.
Maybe don't. Cool. Thank you guys. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Scenes from our next episode.
Gooped.
Goop.
Gooped.
Goop. Floss.
Goop.
Floss.
Hey, you guys think it was pretty funnier in the movie when we splattered people with goop? How about we show all of it again
What if we do it again?
in the end credits?
What if we wrap someone in floss?
Oh, my dad really likes me, even though he never pays attention to me.
My dad
and
never
is now
pays attention.
kidnapped.
He never pays attention to me because he always writes a book. But turns out I was part of the book the whole time. Now he's pretty cool.
Oh my god, I was in Hannah Montana and now I'm in the Young Sheldon spinoff.
Yeah, that is what happened.